Hey guys, so yesterday, last night I had a dream about Jesus that I wanted to share with you guys. That was really, really cool to me. So, in the dream it was like modern day, but it was like the night before Jesus was going to die, and I got to be his mother in the dream. So in the dream we were with all these other people, like our church, I guess. They were between like late teenagers to like mid-30s years old. And we were staying in a house. We have this house. I don't really know whose house it was, but like one of us, I guess, owned it, but we all shared it. And we didn't have beds or sleeping bags because we didn't want, I guess, certain people to know how many of us there were. So we all just like used all these comforters and blankets and kind of slept on the floor in different spots. And I didn't know where Jesus went, and I was looking for him, and I found him in the basement, and he was sad, and he was telling me, I was his mother, he was telling me that kind of what was going to happen, and he told me to be careful when I was going to the laundry room because the Pharisees were already hiding out. They were hiding in places to attack. And I held his hand, and he told me that I would, receive much glory with him, and people would, pray for me to intercede for them as his mother. And I gave him a kiss on the cheek. And then, I was worried because I thought, like, they were already basically Pharisees, like, hiding in the basement, like, behind stuff. Like, they were in our house already, hiding. And, I went up the stairs, and I saw somebody that in real life I went to high school with, and is Catholic, and goes to like my parents' church and stuff. And I was like, and he was hiding, and I thought he was like a Pharisee at first, but I guess like he was one of the followers, I think. And I was like, what do you do? Like, I saw him like sneaking and hiding, and I caught him, and I said, what are you doing here? You should get out of here. And I was like, let me show you the door, because I thought he was like on the bad side. But he slipped through, and like almost like he turned invisible. Like I couldn't find where he went. So like the followers, like God was making them like invisible sometimes, like not like physically invisible, but they were able to like slip away miraculously. And there was a lot of like piles of laundry in the house that they were, like the Pharisees were hiding in. And that was my dream. And then I woke up in the dream, but I was still dreaming. And I was on a bus with my mom and this other guy that went to my high school whose brother died. His brother got killed in a hit and run, and like went to his brother's funeral. And he was sitting on the bus, and I was telling them about the dream I had, even though I was still dreaming. And I was like, I just have to make a video about it. And this other guy that went to my high school, his brother died, he would like smiled at me because he had I guess in the dream he had dreams about his brother the night before he died or something, and like him helping him, and I don't know, but like he totally like related to the dream I had. And it was just a really cool dream. And then, I don't know if this is important, but the dream changed. It was all like it felt like it was all very prophetic and very important. The dream changed, and all of a sudden I was a child with my little brother, and we were running from like traffickers basically. And we ran in this farm area, and my little brother was like 3 years old, and I was like 7 or something. And yeah, we were headed in this like farm area, and we heard them like killing other kids and other people like down like in the town area. We were up on this hill, and as I ran by my little brother, like hiding in the grass, he was like a little child, he didn't know where to hide or what to do. Like, the Lord made him invisible. Like, if he held still, he would like become invisible like the grass. I don't know how to explain it. And then I tried to hide under this cow, and they caught us, and they didn't kill us. They said they might need us later, and they were like raising us like as part of their family and stuff. But it was like, through that dream, God was telling me, like, during his like time where he was on earth, when Jesus was on earth, like the same thing that was happening to his children, his disciples then, is happening to physical children today. Yeah. So that was my dream. Also, like, the other interpretation I got was like that like Mary is very, very important from the first dream. Like, she was the only one that like knew exactly what was going to happen to Jesus and helped him like through it and allowed like it to happen, like didn't fight against it. So she's very, very important, and anyone who speaks badly of her, discounts her, that's not good. So she is very special to the Lord, obviously. And yeah, it was just really, really interesting being able to experience like what she would be going through. Like, she was like, you know, just held his hand and like, how can I help? And yet she knew like what was going to happen, and she allowed it. So it was like a very, very special dream, and I'm really grateful to have had it. And Jesus was like light-skinned, black. He was black. Yeah. And he was very kind. I didn't really focus that much on his physical features as much as his like temperament, and how even when he was like in a lot of distress, he was very like calm and kind.